Most people want respect without ever suffering for it. They want recognition without sacrifice, comfort without pain, and glory without scars. That's why they stay invisible, unheard, and forgotten. Today, we're going to solve that problem. I'll show you how to stop begging for respect and instead earn it through staying hard when everyone else breaks. Life doesn't hand out respect like free samples. Respect is not given. It's forged. Forged in sleepless nights, in early mornings, in sweat-drenched shirts, in the battles no one else sees. Respect doesn't come from your words, your status, or your ego. It comes from the grind. It comes from the scars. It comes from staying hard when life tries to soften you. Every second you back down, you lose respect, not just from others, but from yourself. And if you can't respect yourself, the world will never respect you. Do you want respect? Let me tell you something brutal. Nobody is going to respect you until you respect yourself. And respecting yourself doesn't come from talking. It doesn't come from wishing. It doesn't come from scrolling motivational quotes on Instagram. Respect comes from the choices you make when no one is watching. It comes from how you carry yourself in silence, in darkness, when you've got every excuse to give up and you don't. That's where self-respect is born. You wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and you know damn well whether the reflection you see is a warrior or a coward. You can lie to your friends. You can lie to your family. You can lie to the world about how hard you work. But you can't lie to that mirror. You can't fake respect in your own eyes. If you're cutting corners, if you're giving half effort, if you're negotiating with your excuses, then deep down you know you're soft. And that's why you walk through life invisible, because you don't respect yourself enough to demand respect from anyone else. People think respect comes from money, status, or fame. Wrong. Respect is born in the trenches of discipline. Respect is forged in those hours when you could have taken the easy route, but you didn't. When your body said stop and you kept moving. When your mind said quit and you told it to shut the hell up. Respect doesn't come from being comfortable. Respect comes from suffering on purpose. From staying hard when everything in you wants to fold. If you think people are going to respect you just because you're alive, you're delusional. The world doesn't care about your existence. Respect is currency, and the only way you pay for it is with blood, sweat, sacrifice, and relentless consistency. You don't get respect by demanding it. You get it by earning it over and over again until no one can deny you. That starts with the respect you earn from yourself every single day. Ask yourself, when was the last time you looked in the mirror and actually felt proud? Not because someone clapped for you, not because you got likes online, because you knew deep down you put in the work, that you went beyond your comfort zone, that you chose discipline over weakness, that you fought with the weaker version of yourself, and you won. That's where respect begins. Staying hard isn't about being tough for other people. It's about being tough for you. Because the day you start respecting yourself is the day your whole life changes. You stop chasing approval. You stop caring about validation. You stop needing people to clap for you because you already know. You already see yourself in the mirror and know you're someone worth respecting. And here's the kicker: once you respect yourself, the world has no choice but to follow. You want people to listen to you. Do you want people to admire you? You want people to remember your name. Stop asking for it. Stop begging for it. Stop waiting for it. Start living in a way that demands it. When you walk into a room with self-respect, it shows. You don't need to say a word. People feel it. They feel the discipline in the way you move. They feel the strength in your presence. They feel the authority of someone who doesn't compromise. That's how respect works. It radiates from the inside out. The problem is most people can't even keep a promise to themselves. They say they're going to wake up early, and they don't. They say they're going to start working out, and they quit after a week. They say they're going to eat clean, but they break the diet as soon as it gets tough. And then they wonder why nobody respects them. Here's the truth: if you can't even respect your own word, why should anyone else respect you? Respect is not given. It's not inherited. It's not borrowed. It's built. And the foundation of it is you against you. Every single day is a battle between the version of you that wants comfort and the version of you that wants greatness. Every time you choose comfort, you lose respect. Every time you choose greatness, you earn it. Not from me, not from your friends, but from yourself. And until you win that war consistently, don't expect the world to clap for you. So stop waiting. Stop looking outside. Respect starts right now, right here, with the choices you make when no one is watching. Respect starts when you stop lying to yourself. Respect starts when you decide that being soft is no longer acceptable. Respect starts when you choose to stay hard. You want to know the difference between the average and the extraordinary. It's simple. The average stops when it hurts. The extraordinary keeps going. Everybody looks strong at the starting line. Everybody's got energy. Everybody's got motivation. Everybody's got confidence. But when the weight gets heavy, when the lungs burn, when the road feels endless, that's when you see who's real and who's fake. Most people break. They tap out, they fold, they call it a day. That's why most people live invisible lives. That's why they die with regrets. But the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who stay hard when everyone else surrenders, are the ones who earn respect. The truth is, quitting is easy. Quitting is seductive. It whispers in your ear when your body starts to ache, when your mind feels drained, when life starts punching harder than you expected. Quitting tells you, just stop. Nobody cares you've done enough. And most people listen. They convince themselves it's okay to settle. It's okay to back down. It's okay to be average. But average has never commanded respect. Average has never inspired anyone. Average has never built legacies. Respect is earned in those moments when you want to quit and you don't. Let me make this clear. You don't get stronger when it's easy. You don't build toughness in comfort. You build it when your whole body screams to stop and you say, hell no, I'm not done. You build it when the crowd is gone, the lights are off, and it's just you against your weakness. That's when you grow. That's when you transform. That's when you separate yourself from the masses. Staying hard when others quit isn't about being physically tough. It's about mastering your mind to refuse surrender. People always ask me, how do you keep going when it hurts? The answer is simple, because I know respect is built in those exact moments. Nobody respects the guy who taps out when it gets uncomfortable. Nobody admires the person who talks big but folds under pressure. People respect the one who kept going even when every reason to quit was screaming in their face. They respect the fighter who refused to die. They respect the worker who never backed down. And the most important respect you earn in those moments is your own. Think about it. You've quit on yourself more times than you can count. You said you'd lose weight, but you quit. You said you'd save money, but you quit. You said you'd stick to the plan, but you quit. Every time you quit, you send a message to yourself. I don't believe in me. That's why you walk around with no confidence, no power, no respect. Because deep down, you know you've betrayed yourself. But the moment you stop quitting, the moment you start staying hard when others fold, that's the moment your whole life changes. Quitting is contagious. The more you quit, the easier it becomes. The more you surrender, the faster your life spirals down into mediocrity. But staying hard is also contagious. The more you fight through, the stronger you get. The more you suffer, the tougher you become. The more you endure, the more respect you command. It's a cycle, and you decide which side of it you're on. Life will always test you. It doesn't matter who you are, how much money you've got, or how many people cheer for you. Life will find a way to crush you. And in those moments, you've got two choices. Be like everybody else and quit, or stay hard and keep moving. And here's the truth: every time you choose to stay hard, you're building a version of yourself that the world cannot break. You're teaching yourself that pain doesn't control you, weakness doesn't own you, and quitting will never define you. This isn't about one workout, one job, or one test. This is about life. Because the truth is, the world is full of people who quit. That's why the world is starving for leaders, starving for examples, starving for people who show them what it looks like to stay hard when it's easier to break. Do you want respect? You want to be remembered. You want to stand out. Then stop quitting when it hurts. Stop folding when the pressure rises. Stop living like the average. And every time you feel like giving up, remind yourself, that's the exact moment where respect is waiting for you. Everybody wants respect, but nobody wants the price tag that comes with it. And the truth is, that price isn't money. It isn't status. It isn't luck. It's pain. Pain is the currency of respect. You don't get it for free. You don't get it without suffering. You don't get it without blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Every ounce of respect you see someone carrying on their shoulders was purchased through a war with pain. The problem is most people run from pain. They're addicted to comfort. The moment life gets uncomfortable, they retreat. The moment they feel the burn, they stop. The moment discipline feels heavy, they make excuses. And then they wonder why no one respects them, why they're overlooked, why they're invisible. It's simple: the world doesn't respect the comfortable. It respects the ones who choose pain, the ones who endure, the ones who refuse to let suffering break them. Think about it. Why do we admire warriors, athletes, survivors, leaders? It's not because they had it easy. It's because they walked through hell and didn't fold. It's because they embraced pain when everybody else ran from it. They didn't look for shortcuts. They didn't beg for pity. They didn't ask life to make it easy. They said, bring it on. That's why they earned respect. That's why their names live longer than their lifetimes. You say you want people to respect you, but the moment life gets hard, you start negotiating. You start complaining. You start begging for relief. That's not how respect works. Respect comes from the scars you've earned, from the battles you've fought, from the nights you wanted to quit and didn't. Respect is written in the calluses on your hands, in the sweat dripping down your face, in the pain you carry without asking for applause. That's where respect is born. Pain is the teacher that no one wants but everyone needs. Pain exposes who you really are. When everything is going well, anybody can smile, anybody can fake strength, anybody can pretend they've got it together. But when life tears you apart, when you're broken, when your body and mind scream for mercy, that's when your true self shows up. And if you can keep standing, if you can keep grinding, if you can keep fighting in that state, then you're building a respect that no one can take away from you. Truth is, pain doesn't destroy you. It shapes you. It molds you. It forges you into something unrecognizable to the weak version you used to be. Every time you endure pain without quitting, you're proving to yourself and to the world that you're not ordinary. You're not soft. You're not average. You're a person who pays the price that others are too afraid to pay. That's why people will respect you. Not because you said you were strong, but because you proved it when it hurt the most. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain. They want shortcuts, easy routes, comfort zones. They want the trophy without the training, the body without the grind, the success without the sacrifice. But the problem is respect doesn't come with comfort. Comfort robs you of respect. Comfort keeps you weak, keeps you soft, keeps you invisible. Every time you run from pain, you're running from respect. Every time you choose comfort, you're choosing to stay unnoticed. But when you lean into pain, when you welcome it, when you use it as fuel, that's when everything changes. You start seeing pain not as an enemy, but as the entry fee to greatness. You realize that suffering isn't punishment, it's preparation. And the deeper the pain, the deeper the respect you earn, not just from others, but from yourself. Because here's the real truth, the most important respect you can ever earn is your own. And your mind knows the truth. It knows whether you embraced pain or ran from it. It knows whether you suffered and pushed through or quit when it got hard. And every time you choose pain over quitting, every time you embrace the grind, you're sending a message to yourself. I can trust me. I respect you. And once you respect yourself, the world will follow. So don't run from pain. Don't hide from it. Don't curse it. Pain is the cost of admission to a respected life. It's the test that separates the weak from the strong, the forgotten from the remembered, the average from the extraordinary. You can't buy respect with words, but you can buy it with scars, with suffering, with pain. And the question is, are you willing to pay that price? Here's the brutal reality. Too many people live their entire lives chasing approval. They want to be liked. They want to be accepted. They want to be validated by people who don't even respect themselves. And that's why they die with nothing. Approval fades. Validation disappears. Popularity is fragile. But legacy, that lives forever. Legacy is what people remember when you're gone. Legacy is what your name stands for long after you've left the room. Legacy is the respect that doesn't vanish because it wasn't built on claps. It was built on sweat, blood, sacrifice, and relentless consistency. If you're living for approval, you're already a slave. Approval chains you. It makes you weak. It forces you to shape your life around the opinions of others instead of the mission inside of you. You dress for them, you talk for them, you work for them, you post for them, you live for them. And then one day, you realize they never gave a damn about you. The people you tried so hard to impress move on. They forget your name. But your legacy, that's carved in stone. That's written in the lives you impacted, the battles you fought, the respect you demanded by the way you lived. Legacy doesn't come from asking people to clap for you. Legacy comes from doing the work so relentlessly that people have no choice but to honor you, even your enemies. Legacy is about being undeniable. When people talk about you, they don't talk about your excuses. They don't talk about your comfort. They don't talk about your approval ratings. They talk about your grind. They talk about how you stayed hard when others quit. They talk about the standard you set that forced everyone else to rise up. You think the great ones cared about approval. You think warriors, leaders, game changers built their lives around being liked. Hell no. They built their lives around being respected. They built their lives around creating something that outlives them. They built legacies. And that's why, even generations later, their names still carry weight. Approval fades, but legacy echoes through time. And here's the thing, you don't need millions of followers to build a legacy. You don't need fame. You don't need status. Legacy is not about numbers. It's about impact. It's about living in such a way that even the small circle around you cannot forget you. It's about demanding respect through your actions, through your discipline, through your refusal to fold. You can have zero applause and still build a legacy so strong that your presence is felt in every room you walk into. Living for approval makes you soft. It makes you timid. It makes you adjust yourself to please people who don't matter. But living for legacy, it hardens you. It forces you to stand firm. It forces you to make decisions not based on popularity, but on principle. It forces you to live in truth, even when the truth makes people uncomfortable. That's where respect comes from. People might not like you at the moment, but they will respect you forever. Think about it. Every time you make a choice, you're either feeding approval or you're feeding legacy. When you skip the grind because you want to take it easy, that's approval of comfort. When you stick to the grind because you know it's shaping your future, that's legacy. When you post something online just to get likes, that's approval. When you live in such a way that your actions inspire others, even if nobody claps, that's legacy. Every day you're making that choice. And most people waste their lives chasing approval while their legacy rots in silence. Respect is not built on how many people like you. Respect is built on how many people cannot deny you. They may not like your attitude. They may not like your standards. They may not like your intensity. But they can't deny your discipline. They can't deny your results. They can't deny the fact that you stayed hard when everyone else folded. That's what creates legacy. And here's the truth. You don't even have to tell people about your legacy. You don't have to shout about it. You don't have to advertise it. Legacy speaks for itself. It's written in the scars on your body, the grit in your character, the respect in your presence. Approval demands noise. Legacy demands silence and work. Approval wants to be noticed. Legacy can't be ignored. So stop asking people to clap for you. Stop living for the applause of people who are too weak to clap for themselves. Stop chasing validation from a world that doesn't respect itself. Start living for something bigger. Start building a life so strong, so unshakable, that when people hear your name, they don't think approval. They think respect. They think legacy. They think of someone who never broke, never folded, never quit. Because when it's all said and done, nobody will remember who liked you. Nobody will remember the applause. Nobody will remember the followers. But they will remember the standard you set. They will remember the respect you earned. They will remember the legacy you left. And the only way to build that legacy is to stay hard every single day and live in such a way that approval means nothing to you. At the end of the day, respect isn't something you're given. It's something you take, something you build, something you bleed for. It starts in the mirror. If you can't respect yourself, if you can't keep your own promises, if you can't stand tall when no one is watching, then don't expect the world to bow to you. Respect starts with you, but it doesn't stop there. Respect is forged in the fire when everybody else quits. When the crowd is gone, when the excuses pile up, when the pressure is crushing, you stay hard. That's where the difference is made. That's where respect is earned. Not just from others, but from yourself. And the truth is, the price of that respect is pain. Nobody respects comfort. Nobody remembers easily. They remember scars. They remember grit. They remember the ones who embrace suffering and refuse to fold. Pain is the toll you pay to walk the road of respect. And the ones who are willing to pay it are the ones who rise above. But here's the bigger picture. Respect isn't about today. It isn't about likes, applause, or approval. It's about legacy. When you're gone, when your name is all that's left, will people remember you as someone who played soft, who bent to comfort, who lived for approval? Or will they remember you as someone who stayed hard every damn day, someone who refused to quit, someone who built a legacy that even your enemies couldn't deny? Respect is not given. It's earned. Every single day, every single choice, every single battle between the weak voice in your head and the warrior that refuses to bow. Stay hard, earn respect, and build a life so undeniable that when people hear your name, they don't just remember you, they honor you.